Canon's APS-C community has been hit with another round of disappointing news. The Canon EOS R7 II isn't coming anytime soon. In fact, the latest industry chatter suggests that its release has now been pushed back to early 2026. For photographers who have been patiently waiting for a successor to one of Canon's most popular crop sensor cameras, that timeline feels painfully far away. But as frustrating as the delays seem, this situation may reveal something bigger about Canon's current priorities, future plans, and the direction of its rapidly evolving camera lineup. To understand the story behind the Canon EOS R7 II, we first need to revisit where things began. Rumors about the delay originally surfaced back in August 2025, but at that time, it felt more like speculation than a credible timeline. This latest update, however, carries a different weight. The industry environment is much clearer now. Canon's release schedule is fully loaded, and the pieces fit together in a way that wasn't obvious before. In short, the delay feels real and intentional. Canon's schedule for the next year is incredibly crowded. The Canon EOS R6 II is slated for release this November, and it's already shaping up to be one of Canon's biggest full-frame launches since the R5 and R6 era began. Then, shortly after, Canon plans to push out a wave of new full-frame systems, lenses, and higher-end bodies. When you look at the pattern, it's clear that the company is pouring the majority of its energy into the full-frame ecosystem. APS-C development, at least for now, has taken a back seat. It's not hard to understand why. The full-frame sector is fiercely competitive, and Canon has been trying to claw back market share after aggressive moves from Sony and Nikon. The newer models like the R6 II and R8 have performed exceptionally well, successfully pulling more beginners and mid-level users toward full-frame. Combine that with frequent price drops and promotional bundles, and Canon has created a strategy that encourages users to upgrade sooner than expected. That alone might explain why the Canon EOS R7 II has been stalled. Canon is trying to keep the momentum in full-frame going strong. Still, for APS-C fans, this decision hits hard. The original R7 has long been a favorite for its balance of speed, portability, and affordability. Wildlife photographers, sports shooters, and travel enthusiasts gravitated toward the R7 because of its extra reach, quick bursts, and compact ergonomics. But with the R7 now approaching the 4-year mark, the camera is overdue for a meaningful refresh. Many users were hoping the Canon EOS R7 II would deliver exactly that. So what could Canon be working on behind the scenes? The answer is quite a lot. One of the biggest rumored upgrades for the next Gen R7 is a brand new 32.5 megapixel stacked CMOS sensor. This upgrade alone would dramatically change the camera's performance. The existing R7 uses a non-stacked sensor with a relatively slow readout of about 30 milliseconds. While perfectly usable, it's not ideal for high-speed electronic shutter shooting. Fast-moving subjects, birds in flight, racing cars, athletes tend to show noticeable rolling shutter. With a stacked sensor, that readout time could drop significantly, giving photographers cleaner images with far less distortion. Canon has already demonstrated that stacked technology can scale extremely well. Cameras like the R3 and the updated R5 II show what stacked sensors are capable of. Faster autofocus calculations, quicker burst shooting, reduced lag, and more reliable tracking. If the Canon EOS R7 II inherits even a portion of that performance, it would instantly become one of the fastest crop sensor cameras available. The rumored specs suggest up to 30 FPS with the electronic shutter and 15 FPS with the mechanical, matching the numbers we've seen before, but this time with a far more responsive sensor underneath. That means fewer missed moments, smoother bursts, and better handling of challenging lighting conditions. But the improvements don't stop at the sensor. The next R7 is expected to run on a new generation of processors, possibly the latest Digic X iteration, or even a Digic accelerator paired with it. This would bring faster buffer clearing, improved noise handling, and more sophisticated subject recognition. Canon has made significant advances in autofocus algorithms with recent releases, especially with human and animal eye tracking. Low light performance and fast subjects have been long-standing challenges for APS-C bodies, and Canon seems ready to address those issues head-on. The body design is another area where Canon might introduce meaningful changes. Some early whispers suggest the Canon EOS R7 II could feature a slightly larger body, potentially inspired by the older 7D Mark II. For photographers with larger hands, the original R7's grip can feel a little cramped, particularly during long sessions or when paired with heavier lenses. A redesigned grip, improved button placement, and more robust ergonomics would elevate both comfort and usability. Canon could also refine the weather sealing and build quality, making the R7 II more appealing to professionals who shoot outdoors in unpredictable conditions. There's a growing trend within Canon's APS-C line toward more deliberate segmentation. Cameras like the R50V and C50 have shown that Canon is willing to create models that lean strongly toward either photography or videography rather than trying to do everything at once. It wouldn't be surprising if the Canon EOS R7 II leaned more heavily toward photography again. The original R7 gained a strong reputation among wildlife and sports shooters, and doubling down on that audience could be the smart move. That said, video users won't be left behind. One of the most interesting rumored features is 7K open gate recording. This would be a major leap, giving content creators a flexible, high-resolution canvas for reframing and multi-aspect workflows. Oversampled 4K 60p is almost guaranteed, and improved IBIS performance could make handheld shooting smoother and more reliable. Canon's color science remains one of the most appealing aspects for hybrid shooters, and with the right combination of features, the R7 II could become a very strong mid-tier video tool. However, there are still a few pain points from the original R7 that users hope Canon will fix. Autofocus performance at high burst rates is one of them. While the R7 performs well in bright conditions, it struggles more in low light or when tracking fast, erratic movement at 30 FPS. Borrowing some of the AF intelligence from the R6 III or even the R3 could drastically improve keeper rates for demanding action photography. Viewfinder resolution is another area that could use an upgrade. A new 3.5 million EVF would be a welcome improvement, delivering better clarity and less strain during long shoots. A redesigned articulating screen, perhaps something similar to Panasonic's dual action tilt system, would give creators more flexibility, especially for shooting from difficult angles. These small changes can add up to a dramatically improved shooting experience. In the end, this delay feels less like a setback and more like a reset. Canon appears to be using this time to reposition its APS-C offerings thoughtfully, ensuring the Canon EOS R7 II arrives as a meaningful upgrade rather than a minor refresh. With a faster sensor, stronger autofocus, improved handling, and better hybrid capabilities, the camera has the potential to give APS-C shooters exactly what they've been asking for.